You're listening to the Roma Miclat Show.
Kalinaw, Kate here,
and Japs
of Lukso, Kape, Kakao at Espasyo.
We are encouraging everyone to buy from and support small local businesses.
And to all the coffee lovers of the Roma Miclat Show, here's a gift just for you. Enjoy free delivery anywhere in the Philippines when you buy 2 coffee origins from Lukso.
This is valid for the whole month of July 2020. Just message us on Instagram or Facebook to claim your free delivery. Order now at bit.ly/luxoph.
That's bit.ly/luxoph. Kape na ta!
Hi to all our listeners and welcome to another episode of the Roma Miclat Show. And today we will talk about pole dancing. And we have our guest all the way from Budapest, Hungary. Anita Horvath is an international trade affairs expert for 7 years by profession and a pole dancer by heart. Welcome to the show, Anita. Hi.
Hello, hi everyone. Hi, it's good to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you? How's everything in Hungary?
I'm fine. I'm still doing home office, so
Mm.
still a bit of this pandemic situation here in Hungary,
Yeah.
but otherwise everything is fine, and I'm really excited to have my first podcast with you.
Oh, I'm
I
so
have never
happy.
done it before. Yes. Okay, let's do it.
Yes, okay, let's do it. Because I mentioned earlier that you're an international trade affairs expert for 7 years now.
I was born and raised in Hungary. Yeah, I have been always interested in international environments. I used to travel a lot to abroad and so on, and that's how my passion came for all international related topics and even for trading. So when it came to the question what I want to do in my life, I decided to specialize for international movements of good. So I have studied this at university, and after university, I got a chance to work a little bit I think for about 1.5 years in Vietnam. I came back to Hungary. I was working here for a little bit in the same area, and then last year, I went back to Asia, to Singapore, and that's
Yes.
how we met. Actually, I was working there also in the
Mm.
same area, and in the meantime, I kept doing my pole passion, my pole
Yeah.
dancing passion.
Which is I am so amazed because I mean, just to let everyone know, Anita is actually my husband's office mate, and we met because she was assigned in Singapore to stay for like a couple of months, right, or a year, more than a
Yes.
year,
No,
and
it was a year. Yeah,
it was a year,
about a
yeah.
year.
And so we met and we bonded for I think a couple of times, right? And then
Yes.
when I found out that she was doing pole dancing, I was like, wow, her core must be like, awesome. Because I know you must have strong core. And as you know, I'm a fitness enthusiast. Pole dancing it started as a hobby, right? Why pole dancing?
All my passion for dancing actually came from my childhood hobby or
Mm-hmm.
childhood activity that I was doing modern dances. I was part of a dance group, so I went there regularly, to have my dance classes. So that's the overall background for my passion. And for some years, I quit. And then I had a strong feeling that, okay, I should get back to dancing, or to do something which I really like. And in the same time, when I had this feeling, I came across a video about a very, very famous Ukrainian pole dancer. I think it was a talent show or something, which I saw. And then I was completely amazed that, wow, that looks so cool. I need to try this. I want to try this. And
Wow.
the next day, I found a voucher online to try pole dancing for free. And I went there, and I never quit ever since then.
Wow. It's also, we can say that you're really a dancer by heart. And then you found pole dancing and totally fell in love with it.
Yes,
Wow.
from one day to the other, I fell in love
Mm.
with it.
I really think that you're very passionate when it comes to pole dancing. And may I ask, how long have you been pole dancing?
Yeah, I started it 6 years ago. Yeah,
Hmm.
6 years ago, maybe a little bit
Wow.
over 6 years ago by now. So
Mhm.
we can say I have already a history with pole dancing.
Definitely not a beginner.
Yes.
Wow, 6 years. If you were to describe pole dancing,
Hmm.
how will you describe it? I mean, for you, because I know like people have, like, say, for if you love reading, you describe reading is not just reading. It takes you to places and things and all.
Yeah.
And for you, what about pole dancing? How will you describe it?
Pole dance means a lot to me. So
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely a physical exercise for my body.
Mm-hmm.
It's something undeniable. That's a body art for me, a way of expression, a way of expressing myself. Also, it's a bit of like an addiction for me, for going there to the classes, and then that's a bit of mental challenge for me as well, all the time,
Definitely.
how to come across the difficulties and the physical challenges. It's a lifestyle, I would say, rather.
Yes, and also I agree that I also see pole dancing as a form of art, because again, it's
Mm,
all it's like dancing, but it's you are using, like, I think every muscle of your body with every movement,
yes,
right? And you're very
yeah,
aware. You're very aware that you're using this muscle group. Yeah. So
yeah,
wow.
exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, you
Yes.
need to be aware of each and every muscle and body part of yours, where to put and
Hmm.
how to put and how to hold yourself, because you have to hold yourself. Sometimes it's a bit of pain, but
Yes.
that's also part of the business, that that you need to lift up at least your body. And yeah, in the same time, when it's difficult, you need to make it seem like effortless, or something
Yes.
very light. And I think that's the most difficult part, and where the art comes into the picture, how to make something look like easy and effortless, while it's actually challenging.
Like a ballet dancer, right? Pain that they go through is like unimaginable, but then they look so
Yeah.
flawless and they move like a swan on stage. So,
Yes, yeah.
so pain is an understatement.
Yes, sometimes you can be very surprised that, oh my God, this part of my body hurts. How? I didn't
Yeah.
even know it exists.
Yeah. You didn't know that there's a muscle in that part.
Yes, how can it be?
Aside from dancing, what were your activities? Do you go to the gym? Do you, I don't know, run a marathon?
Well, marathon, definitely not a marathon. I'm not a
Same,
very good
same.
runner. Yeah. Actually, in Singapore, I went to the Countdown Marathon, but signed up
Mhm.
only for 10K. So
Wow, 10K. I mean, I can walk 7 kilometers, but not run 7 kilometers.
yeah, 2 times a week to go out for a 5K or a 10K run, because that gives you endurance and stamina, which you can also use while pole dancing to have a longer flow. Of course, you need to have
Yes.
the ability to do it. I I try to do as much yoga and as much
Mm,
stretching as possible, because that's very beneficial. So, at yoga, it's some type of yoga, really need to focus on the core strength and strengthening your body, but in the same time also mobilizing and stretching some other body parts. So that's definitely very beneficial. At least it works for my body. And stretching, something what we need to do continuously, but that's like a side exercise for me besides pole dancing.
this is something that I'm sure the listeners would like to know. Is it hard? Again, pain is an understatement here, but then here I am asking the question. Is it
Yes.
hard? Is it difficult to learn pole dancing? And
uh,
is there a weight limit? Just for
mhm.
the plump sisters and brothers that we have there and they want to try pole dancing, can they try it even if they're,
Yeah.
you know?
So I have to be very honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, at the first class, it doesn't matter what body type you have, what is your weight, and so on. So it really independent from your physical state. But the
Mm-hmm.
first class can be just like very overwhelming and very challenging, because you
Mm-hmm.
really need to use some muscles which you have never used before. You will have to get used to the feeling of the instrument, of the metal bar, actually, that it
Mm-hmm.
is pushing your body, your skin, your muscles. You will have lots of bruises for sure. Maybe not
Definitely.
after the first class, but later on, definitely. Yes, it comes right from the first classes with lots of challenging and a lots of pain, and you have to be prepared for that. But once you have this willpower, and when you have the endurance, slowly you can progress, and by every class, I think it's getting just easier. What was very painful at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning is now becoming part of your routine. You will discover different skills and different type of pain and challenges. You will get used to it, and you will get used to enjoying it.
So, but can you say, Anita, that if they want to try pole dancing, at least they should have, a little endurance, or they're used to doing cardio exercises, just so they will not have a very hard time. Because like, if you're totally, you don't have any fitness activity, and then suddenly you want, like, okay, I want to do pole dancing, it's gonna be harder for them, right? Am I right? Did
Uh,
I understand?
yes, it's always depending on the fitness level of the individual, how
Mm-hmm.
easy it's gonna be to master pole dancing. Actually, you can start even if you haven't done any sport, any activities in the past years, or you have never done it before. That's completely fine, because pole dancing is built up gradually. So you start
Mm-hmm.
from a very, very easy moves, very easy spins. And then as you move forward, physical requirements are getting higher and higher. But by the time you also gain your endurance, you gain your strength, you gain the confidence in yourself that you are able to do it. So it's really amazing how structured it can be and how nicely built up for your body.
So that's very good to know. But what about the weight limit? Like we said earlier, there's no weight limit. Anyone can do it.
Anyone can do it, really. Of course, you will need to have a little bit more effort, perhaps at
Mhm.
some moves. If you have a little bit more weight, or if you don't have a certain muscle, but it shouldn't
Mhm.
be an obstacle. So you will get used to it. You will get used to moving your body as it is, regardless the weight, regardless the
Mhm.
abilities or disabilities of your body. So I was teaching at pole dance camp here in Budapest. I had a student with one artificial leg.
Oh.
So for me, yeah, that's the perfect example, the motivation, the pure motivation for anyone, that if that person is able to do it and wants to do it and does it, then what's your excuse not to do it? So
Definitely, yes. What's your excuse?
so it really just depending on the on your determination, how determined you are, and a good teacher will guide you through the pain and your
Through the
obstacles
pain,
and
through the pain. But well, yeah, that's the reality of pole dancing. It's gonna be painful, but it's also a beautiful process, I
yes,
guess. Yes, it's a beautiful
yes, yeah.
activity. Have you competed in the 6 years of doing pole dancing? Have you ever competed?
Yes, I did. I entered a couple smaller competitions here in Hungary, just within the studios which are operating here, and I also competed the Hungarian National Pole Sport Championship. Quite a lot of time and effort into preparing for these competitions, so definitely they are a significant part of my pole journey, because through
Mhm.
preparation for pole competition, you learn just so much, about the moves, the techniques, what fits
Mhm.
to your body, what fits to your movement. I think for those intense months, very, very intense months, were the best. I'm doing the sporty style of pole dance, or the pole fitness, pole sport style.
So there are different types of pole dancing style. And I also noticed, Anita, when you because she has an Instagram account for her pole dancing
Yeah.
dedicated for pole dancing, and I noticed that you're not wearing high heels, because there are some who are, at least for the Philippines, that's what I saw online, that the lessons that they offer, the women or the students are wearing high heels. So you mean
Yeah.
to say that's a different style also?
Definitely, that's a
Oh.
different style. So certainly there are movements which you can do in high heels, which fits to this kind of style. And
Mhm.
then some other moves are just very sporty, very gymnastic-like, and would look a little bit weird in high heels. So in high heels,
Yeah.
it's normally more the dancey style and the classic pole dancing. We
Mhm.
also call it sometimes exotic pole dance. But besides that, we have, which is quite strong here in Hungary, this is the pole sport, pole fitness style,
Mhm.
which is like a gymnastic exercise, or you have routines like at any other gymnastic competitions.
Mhm.
And besides that, there are some other kind of uh, dance styles, even including pole. So what I'm quite much into these days, is contemporary pole. So it's
Mhm.
like contemporary dancing, including pole as an instrument into your dance performance, which I found truly amazing. So that's my I think that's my favorite style these days. It can be like any kind, so this designed and tailor-made to your style. So if you would like to invent something new, or try
Mhm.
something new, that's completely possible with any styles.
You are still having time with the pole every day, right? Or is it like a
Yeah,
few times?
yeah, yeah. Luckily, I have a pole at home, so even with the
Mm-hmm.
lockdown, I was able to practice. I kept up with my routine, and then I kept practicing every single day.
When you're doing pole dancing, do you also say that there is a certain diet that you have to follow, like, less carbs, less of the, the delicious stuff, less bread, less sweet stuff, less,
Yes,
yeah, dessert?
yes.
Because carbs are really, it makes you feel heavy, I
Yeah,
think.
it does. You feel every extra gram on your body when you
Yes.
need to lift it up.
Yes.
So I rather think it over twice what I eat, but these days I'm not that conscious, and I'm not that strict with my diet. So when I'm in preparation for competitions, of course I have very strict rules which I follow. So really, no carbs, no pastries, no bread.
Mhm.
I try to avoid even pasta.
Yes,
Obviously,
pasta, because pasta
chocolate
is,
and sugary stuff, confectionery.
Mhm.
So yeah, everything which is delicious.
Yeah, everything that
I
makes
need
us
to.
happy.
Yes.
Even beer.
Uh, yeah. Oh well. Yeah, so but I think even when you keep a very strict diet, you need to have some off days, or some days, 3 days, when you let
Yeah.
your body to and your mind also to get this extra sugar, which can be also very helpful, especially in stressful times when you prepare with a serious routine, and
Mhm.
sometimes this sugar helps a little bit more
It
to
makes us
come
happy.
over the challenges. Yes, yes.
So, what is your favorite move, if you will share it with us?
I really like flexibility moves. So maybe it even comes from my background, that I was doing this dance when I was a child, and in
Mm-hmm.
my teenage years. I really like any kind of moves involving splits. And even if
Oh.
it's performed on a spinning pole, because spinning pole makes just look it a lot more
Mm-hmm.
attractive and beautiful. So
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 there are different kinds of poles.
oh yes, oh yes, yes, yes. We do
Oh,
have
that's
a so-called static pole, so it's not turning around by itself, and we call the pole which is turning as a spinning pole, and
Mhm.
then
It's like carousel. It looks like a carousel, right?
exactly, yes, it's like a carousel. Yes.
Wow. See, we are learning a lot because I didn't know that there are different kinds of.
There is even a swinging pole. Only the upper part of the pole is fixed to the ceiling. That's something I have never tried before, but I'm very curious about how it could be to make the moves on this one, because yeah.
Now that you're currently teaching pole dancing, can you tell us more about it?
I think it all started when I went to Vietnam for the first time for working, and there I found a very, very lovely studio, which I can still recommend to everyone who are living in Vietnam or visiting Vietnam. So I went there also to practice, or to keep up with my own practice. There, the studio owner approached me after some time if I would like to join the teaching gang and give classes, because my level was quite good already. I think it
Mm-hmm.
was after 2 years I started pole dancing. We had a quick training for pole dance teaching, or how to
Mm-hmm.
instruct and how to guide a pole dance class. And this preparation gave me the confidence to start, and I started it there in Vietnam. I think I started with 2 or 3 classes a week, and then I kept doing it since then. It's just I moved from Vietnam back to Hungary, and
Yes. I was about to
It's
say
a
that
studio
from
which
Vietnam, you
changed.
brought it to Hungary, and then from Hungary. But did you teach in Singapore? No.
Oh, no, no, not in Singapore,
I,
not in
I see.
Singapore. Yes. Yeah. But now that I'm back to Hungary and the lockdown is also sort of over, I'm also back to my teachings. Right now, I don't have regular classes because I like to take it easy this time and
Mm-hmm.
not having the same mistake what I did before. You know that I cannot say no to the pole dance classes. So
Yes.
I am more conscious about it now, and I just keep teaching private classes, and I cover group classes when it is needed in the studio where I belong to. So.
Okay, so Anita, can you be honest with us? How long will it take for a non-dancer like
Uh-huh.
us, like most of the listeners, to learn to learn pole dancing? Say someone say, "Okay, Anita, I want to try pole dancing, but how long should I take the lessons, or how long should I have the classes? How many
Mm-hmm.
months?" So that I would say,
Uh,
"Okay, I can be called a beginner."
Yeah, so I would say a couple of months is definitely needed to reach a level when you know already a little bit more moves. You can
Mm-hmm.
make them connected, the moves. You can make them look nice. So in 3 months, I would say you can cover the beginner part, the very,
Mm-hmm.
very beginner part, and you will have a basic knowledge which you can build on later on, and then move on to more difficult choreographies or to more difficult moves or routines or
Around
something.
3 months, or is it already safe 3 months, or it should be what, 5 months or so?
I would say 3 months is a minimum. And then by the time you reach the fourth or the fifth month, the progresses will be quite quick already. So you will
Mm.
realize this.
So I'd say I think dedication is also a big part of developing the skills of
Yeah.
pole dancing, because I think in every physical activity that you do, it's important that you have dedication and you have the discipline. Because say in
Definitely.
those 3 months, say you only do once a month, then it's not gonna work.
Yeah, that's true again. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Let's be
Uh,
real.
my recommendation is to do 2 classes a week, a minimum. Yes. So
Mm.
if you just go there once a week, it means that the next week you will just repeat or revise what you have learned on the previous class. So you cannot really learn new moves, just practice what you learned before. But if you add this one extra class, at least, then
Mm.
it will allow you to learn other moves as well.
Now I want to ask a more serious question, because pole dancing is, let's your face is like
Yes, I'm a bit afraid what you're gonna ask.
no, because pole dancing is a form of art. And let's face it, let's admit this. It's a sexy activity. I mean, like, when a woman
Yeah.
dances with the pole, it's very sexy. But for me, the way I see it, yes, it's sexy, but it celebrates, the human form, the capabilities of the
Yeah.
body. Again, it's a form of art. So for me, the sexuality is, I would say that I can associate it with the art, and not
Mm-hmm.
something that's, I don't know, something that's bad, for me. So
Uh,
what do you think, or what is your opinion, for those who are saying that pole dancing is somewhat sexualized,
yeah,
especially
that's
now that on social media you post your pictures, people will, send comments and all.
yeah, that's it's a topic which comes up from time to time because yeah, it's undeniable that it's difficult to separate the two things, or to have the same way of seeing pole dance for everyone. But I think behind that there are maybe two things that, the pole dancing has developed from the bar dancing or
Yeah.
striptease dancing in a certain
Strippers.
way. So yes, to this club dancing, and that's what was in the focus for a very long time. So I think it started in the 80s, when pole dance became popular in clubs, or in strip clubs, or any dance bars, and then ever since then that was in focus. And this other part of pole dancing has just started 10, 15 years ago, that it became a sport. So it's a relatively new phenomena, and it's difficult for people to have a different opinion about it, or they don't even know about it. So that's one thing, that this kind of sexualized way of pole dancing was in the mainstream for a long time. So it takes time to the sport or the artist style accepted in the same way or acknowledged in the same way. Secondly, it also depends on the people's open-mindedness, I would say, how much they are willing to see it in a different way. Because of course, I'm approached from time to time that, okay, hey, that looks so
I'm very
sexy,
sure.
or
Yes.
yeah, or wow, you look like this or that, or why are you showing your body like this? And then I try to explain that, and all the time, that okay, hey, what I'm doing is for me, what it means for me. What I explained to you, I would explain to them as well, that for me that's a form of physical exercise. For me, that's nothing sexualized. I would even talk about the pain, and that what I can see is just the pain, and that I have bruises, so I don't even know what you are talking about,
Yes.
talking that it's sexy. Of course, that's a bit of pretending from my side as well, but I try to explain, to make people a little bit more open-minded about this pole dancing area. And then some people are really open to it. So once you explain, then they will be able to see the difference and to understand. Maybe they even apologize for saying something inappropriate. But for other people, that's just a no-go. It's just something they cannot accept or understand, and that's also, I would say, fine for me. It's like not everyone has to have the same opinion about some things,
That's right.
and as long as it's not hurting or insulting anyone else, or don't do anything bad with it, then I think it's fine to have a different opinion. And if you think that pole dancing is something extremely sexualized, even still these days, then that's your right to think it this way. But don't insult anyone because of that.
Yes. That's on them. It's their
Yeah, that's on
opinion. It's
them. Yeah.
that's what the way they see it, but it's not you. I mean, you're just expressing you're celebrating your body, you're celebrating the art of pole dancing, and I think a lot of people are not yet open to that idea. Like you said,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
the pole dancing is here for what, less than 50 years, less than 30 years, so it's relatively new. And
Yeah.
especially the culture and all, the factors, the culture and stuff. But I hope that they get to understand it more, or at least do a research first before
Yes. Do
jumping
a
into
research
the,
first. Yes.
yes, before saying something that's offensive. That's right. Please don't be
Yeah. That's
offensive.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what I realized or noticed that normally those people are less open or more offensive to pole dance, who doesn't have the body culture,
Mm-hmm.
who cannot really appreciate the body movements or
Yes.
the effort behind the
Mm-hmm.
body movements, because
Yeah.
certainly there is an effort behind it. But if you just sit in the couch and if someone knows about any kind of sports or moving, then they will
Yes.
understand the effort behind. And for those
Mm-hmm.
people, it's not very difficult to explain that, yeah, hey, this is pole dancing nowadays, and please don't make anything any insulting or offensive comments.
I know it's not easy. Like, remember the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, when I was watching that, I was like, wow. And like, I also watched The Hustlers, where
Mm.
because Jennifer Lopez also, I think she learned pole dancing, and it was, I mean, to find someone to learn that and see that it's really like it sells to you that okay, it looks like she's been doing this for the longest time. Again,
Wow. Yeah.
it's not something that an amateur or someone who's not fit can do. So again, it's a celebration of what your body can do. So,
Yeah.
well, to sum it all up, if you think that it's sexualized, then it's on you. It's your
Yeah.
problem.
The J-Lo did an amazing job there, and
Yes,
it
yes,
was like
yes.
an amazing progress in a very short time what she raised. And then in the movie, and I also at Super Bowl, it looked like she did it forever.
Yes. Oh my God. I was like, oh my God, you should see this. I was telling my husband, you should
Yes,
see
yes.
this. Yeah, because it's amazing. But have you ever experienced like someone you know or someone you personally know told you that I think what you're doing is sexualized?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I got some comments on this
Mm-hmm.
one. Even some little bit more conservative friends
Mm-hmm.
kept saying, "Oh, are you sure you want to do that and just dance around in a small panty?"
Yes. Because I think
And
can you please tell us why you are pole dancing with minimal clothes on? Please let them understand why. Because I already know. She told me before we shoot this.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
There's a reason
just
for
to
that.
show as much
Yes.
from my body as possible.
Yes.
Of course, you need to be okay with that as well,
Yes,
to
yes.
show. But it's mainly for the skin hold, because
Yes.
if you push your skin to the pole, it will give you an extra hold, an extra grab,
Mm,
and then that's how you stick on the pole, and that's how you stay
yes.
there. And if you are wearing any kind of fabric or clothes, you will slide down for sure from the pole. You
Yes.
need to be there
Mhm.
to be able to move
You see,
and hold the
there's a
poses.
reason. Yeah, there's a reason. That's why less clothes is better, especially for the
Yeah.
thigh part, for your legs, which is doing a lot of work. So
And
now
also,
you
yeah,
know.
the core, the belly part, when like armpit hold or shoulder
Yes.
push or shoulder hold. So yeah, you don't really have many choice.
Yeah, so there is a reason why the pole dancers are in a very minimal clothes because they
Yeah,
need the skin contact with the pole. So now you
that's
know.
true. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for teaching our listeners. We're near the end of our podcast episode. What is your advice to those people who would like to try pole dancing?
My advice would be to be prepared for all the pain and all the challenges which comes with the pole dances. Then just keep doing it. So after first class, you won't be a professional for sure. It will take
Yes.
time, but it will be very rewarding time. What comes after all the time? Just show
Right.
up. Yes.
Just show
Yeah.
up. The first step is always the hardest, but how will you know
Exactly.
if you really like pole dancing if you don't try it? And if you like it, then continue doing it. If it's not for you,
Yeah.
then move on, right? Try other activities.
But give it time and give it a few practices that you really discover. The first class can be a little bit discouraging, I would say, when you feel that, oh my God, I don't have the strength, it's painful and so on. But keep up doing it, keep up for a few classes. Just go there, show up, and you will see, and you will feel. And if you feel it in long term as well, that it's for you, then welcome in the community.
Okay, so now, Anita, can you share your contact details and how they can book a class for one-on-one class with you, and your social media account so they can follow you?
So you can all find me at anita.paul on Instagram. My profile is public there, so you can all see my style, my pictures, my progress with pole dancing, and also that's where you can reach out to me and we can align on the details. I'm available only in Hungary for classes for now.
Yes. Sorry, so guys, only in Budapest for now.
You have to come here to learn with me.
Okay, so please follow her Instagram account, anita.pole. Thank you so much, Anita. I know you're busy, but you said yes on guessing on my show, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I really love to be here and chat with you about pole dancing. So thanks for inviting me, and then keep in touch, and I hope we can have the same discussions about pole with you or with any of your listeners anytime soon.
Yes, if we have questions about pole, we will contact you. Please don't forget to subscribe. Our podcast is available on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Facebook, Anchor.fm, of course, and TUNEiN Radio. So there you go. Here's another episode of the Roma Miclat Show. And I hope you guys stay safe. And until our next episode, bye!